I gave myself a haircut, and I really can't tell the difference. I think it just added more texture. I mean, that's what I was doing. I was just doing some layering. You know, you put the hair up in like ponytails and then chop it off. So then the hairs fall down at different lengths and don't just become super flat, overlaying themselves. I think I need to cut more off the front though because can't see my goddamn eyes. You know what? When people can't see my goddamn eyes, you know what that means? I can't see. I mean, a little bit, but it's really blocked off. Hello. When it's incredibly sunny out, it does work as a fantastic um alternative to sunglasses. Boy, oh boy. I was thinking about, right, because I can't stop from scheming about YouTube stuff. And whenever I come on here to record anything, of course, I'm going to be thinking about YouTube stuff a little bit. But I was thinking about maybe like, I was thinking about posting like rage bait shorts. Like I've never considered really short form content, but it'd be funny to just make rage bait shorts. I'd be good at coming up with that. Like, we'd have to see. We would have to see. But it might also could be fun. Might not be. Because people get really worked up with that. But I hate rage bait. And I want to do rage bait shorts. I hate rage bait. Yeah, I think it'd be nice to get people more desensitized to it, to stop taking it so seriously. So what the strat would be to like sort of on one hand make the rage bait YouTube content short form, try to virality format, and then if they get sucked in to the pipeline, right, you get them in the funnel, and then you basically make related content that sort of outlines like how not big of a deal that thing is. You know what I'm saying? Right, to just get people to sort of like an effort to stop the reaction to rage bait. Cause that's like the main that is the main like content format right now. It's just fucking rage bait. It works. Gets you views. Definitely. I mean, out of all the videos that I've posted to this channel, the most popular one was the one that I titled I Don't Like Gay People. And that was intentional. Like, I mean, I was like, if I title it this, I'm going to get views. And granted, like, that's nothing compared to what I've gotten in the past, like 300 views. So, I mean, the last one I posted got 20 or something. So, right. It's a difference in metrics by percentages, not overall. But it definitely works, and I've got a great example. This was because I posted the I don't like the LGBTQ community on the main channel, and that one got 1 million plus views. All the surrounding videos had like what, a handful of thousands of views. It's ridiculous. People love getting mad so much. They love it. Can't get enough of it. When you're mad, you stay engaged. It'd be. I wonder if there's like a ultimate content strategy that could just destroy that part of the algorithm, like where you do rage bait content and then basically convince people not to get rage baited anymore. Like you shame them out of it. It's like, oh, it's cringe to get rage baited. That'd be one thing you could do. So, I mean, like a lot of the old content that I made was literally just reacting to rage bait, talking about why it was stupid. But that was stupid because what happens is that, right, you get engagement from the rage bait, and then people that make rage bait get the engagement, and then what's the winning content form factor? Rage bait. Whether or not you're reacting to it or making it yourself, it always wins. Drama always comes out top. Out on top. Out top. What? Hmm. 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 But yeah, once I get a month done uploading of just this random bullshit, I think I'm gonna try new types of content every month, see how it does. Like low effort types of content, but different content nonetheless. Um, I was thinking of doing like low effort movie analyses, putting together like slideshows and whatnot, getting the assets and being able to switch through and do it all live without much editing. Like that'd be interesting, to say the least. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that one actually, because it would need some form of editing to actually make it good. Because the best way to do it, I can go off the walls with like movie criticisms, like when I'm in the moment when I'm watching it. So the best way to do that kind of content would actually be to just watch the movie, record the whole thing, and as I get to those points, just kind of like rail at it. But then if I did it like that, I'd have to edit it because I would need to cut out like literally everything in between that. So, suboptimal. Plus movie analyses, that's a saturated topic as it stands. Like it's just the only interesting part about it is I like the theories that people put together that do not make like that are so unrelated to the movie. Like when they inject like random ass bullshit. Like I saw this video on um why the Lorax actually wanted all the trees to die. Now that is good content. That is creative original content. And also I'm kind of getting sick of movie critics. I know there's probably just as much content out there, like people talking about why they like movies, but I mean, you just don't come across it. I mean, I don't search for it because, right, you get mad at something and you're like, yay, my attention's engaged. My dopamine brain centers are firing off. Let's go get angry at this movie that I'm never going to watch anyways, but at least I'll be able to say that I don't want to watch it and be able to give a reason. I'm pretty sure that more people watch like movie critics than they do actual movies nowadays. That's the state of cinema. It's just majority of it is so bad that there's more entertainment to be found in criticizing it, watching people criticize it, get mad at it, than there is to actually watch the damn movie. It's fun. It's fun sometimes, but eventually you're gonna get to a point where there's just so much negativity in the world that, like, I'm just bored of it. You can only have so much irony before shit gets annoying, right? You gotta let the pendulum swing. You gotta enjoy the irony while it lasts, and then once it starts getting irritating and you get the fatigue from it, then you gotta swing back into justifying why genuine things are cool, and maybe more cheesy notions that we've discarded in the past for a little while are actually neat. And then that'll reach a fatigue point also. And then we go back the other way. You just gotta find out where you're at on there. Like, what entertains me? I found that for me, I'd say about 4 years, right? It's like irony to borderline cynicism and then back. Like, it's entertaining for about 4 years to go from like slight irony all the way to cynicism. And then it starts being more fun to go back the other way. Like, I was in movie taste, I really got into like, oh, deep movies, deep movies. This has a deep, complicated, interesting plot with themes. Took that to the extreme, and then there's like a couple of movies that you can watch and enjoy, and the rest are just dog shit. Then you're stuck criticizing every single movie that you're watching, or like stopping and being like, I could have done that better. And then recently I went through like a phase of just like stupid action movies. I love those, like really stupid action movies, like that have borderline no plot, and it's just like one guy going through the entire movie just being a badass, and I'm like, hell yeah, go get him. There was a period like last year where I watched last year. Yeah, end of last year where I watched like every single Jason Statham movie. Just because that was the type of stuff that got interesting to me at the time. And then I watched like really stupid action movies, because there's only so many like one man army movies that you can find, and like John Wick is a little bit too realistic. Right, because that was like the one man army like cinema type deal that was accepted as, what the fuck is it called? Like Kino bullshit. Shut up, idiots. Yeah, Kino's going out of fashion, I'm calling it. Like being a fucking like that image of like the guy that's allowed to be pretentious about movies even though he's total loser in all respects. Most indie films fucking suck, let's be real. But anyways, I eventually got to the point where I was watching like shitty action movies. Like ones that are actually bad. They're like funny because they're so bad. Like just dumb slow motion explosions for no other reason. You've got these bad acting, cliche plot lines. Like just like B-rated movies, or even just like action films from ages past that were actually really decent, but they don't really hold up to the standards nowadays. So like a lot of the action visual effects stuff is just garbage, but the actual story itself is solid. Like they know what they're doing. That stuff. And I mean, like, if you really want deep shit, this is what I realized is that a lot of movies that have more complex themes, like you can only find so much of them. If you're like looking for complex themes, eventually you're gonna have to move on to books. Like, get your philosophy, get your existentialism, get your what is it called? Like, get those complex stories from books. They just do it better. Because we always want more and more and more. And if you want philosophy, you're watching movies. I mean, for fucking awful time, I tell you what. You're just gonna get to a point where no movie's gonna be able to cut it because you really can't fit an exposition of anything philosophically interesting into a movie. And then before you know it, you're just stuck there picking up a copy of fucking Critique of Pure Reason. This book sucks, by the way. But the stuff inside of it's good to know because literally every single academic thing based on ethics practically fucking worships this shit, even though it's like 400 years old. I wrote a stupid little gay poem in the back of this on the last page. I just saw that. Forgot about that. I write a shit ton of marginalia. And also something that's really irritating about philosophy books is that you'll be like, you'll get a philosophy book and there will be 75 pages of introductions, prologues, translators, prefaces, and whatnot. And you're just like bored by the time you even get to it. And then you find out that actually that first 75 pages, that was the most interesting part of the entire book. Not even kidding. You'll look forward to that part of the book in philosophy books. You will miss the times reading that 75 pages while you're in here. And then, on top of it all, another thing that you'll find about these books is that like the appendix, the references and whatnot, is that much of the book. Right? You're like, oh, that's a fucking huge book. But see that? That's the substance. That's not that big. And on top of that, there are so many goddamn footnotes that most of the book isn't even like book. You see this page? Opened up to a random page. The bottom half, where my thumb is, below that, that's all footnotes. So really you're like, oh, this is like a 900-page book. When in reality, you take off the 150 pages and 75 pages of appendix references, bibliography, and bullshit, and you end up with like 600, 570 actual pages, and then you look at the actual content, it's closer to like 300 pages. It's not that intimidating once you think about it. Just got to watch some lectures from some separate professors about the general theory of whatever it is, and you get the basic idea. You'd be like, okay, these people think this thing, those people think this thing about them, and then you start reading it, and you're like, oh, okay. Now I know where I kind of fall on this opinion spectrum. And then you can just completely read for your own opinion. Yeah. There's a book that I have that's like on integral theory, and it's like 600 pages long. And I shit you not, half of the entire book is notes. Like they just decided, let's not put the footnotes in the actual book. Let's just create like book 2, right? With all the page numbers and the references, and put in the notes there. I don't know how this guy got away with it. Like, is it really necessary to publish 300 pages of notes? Is that a strategy? Do people like that? I mean, I kind of did. I'm not going to lie. I read at least half the notes. Yeah, whatever. I really can't keep focused on any one topic, can I? Went from YouTube videos, movie analyses, talking about movie culture, all the way to philosophy, and then we're on talking about books and publishing methods. And I mean, it's a logical train of thought, but it's really scatterbrained. While we're on the topic of publishing, right? Stanford University Press was doing a complete works on Friedrich Nietzsche, and I was looking at them and I was like, oh, cool. You can get the works. They've got the notes, the history, like a little bit of the history. The translator says some stuff. You get a lot of context for the work, and then um, I noticed that like they literally just have not published like half the collection. It's in the weirdest fucking structure ever because got like books 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Like there's 17 volumes, but only like 11 of them are published, and it's completely random in the order that they're published. So I really don't know what they're doing. Speaking of scatterbrained, Nietzsche is so fucking scatterbrained. Like this dude literally just wrote out whatever he thought and then put a title that sort of related to all of it, and so it's aphorisms. It's a collection of aphorisms. Sure, whatever. I mean, it's good stuff, but if you went to the trouble to actually collect your thoughts and then publish, maybe like somebody would have read the books while you were alive. You know, like it literally took Hitler getting interested in him to make people go like, "Oh, what's that guy about?" Turns out, Nietzsche doesn't really agree with Hitler, but that's what it took to get him out of the mud. By then, he was dead for like fucking 50 years already. Poor guy. Got syphilis. Kicked the bucket. He got syphilis at 18 with the first woman that he slept with, who was a whore. Literally paid for it. He paid for his syphilis. Literally. And then, later in life, because they didn't have a cure for it, it developed, like, he got, like, fucking brain damage from it and went insane and died. At the age of, like, 50, I think. All Nietzsche needed was a fucking YouTube channel. Tell you what. He needed to read some marketing books. Could have been doing promotion through social media, making YouTube shorts. Imagine Nietzsche on TikTok. God is dead, and we have killed him. How can we wipe all this blood off of our hands? Will we be able to? This tragedy will never be wiped from the record of man. And the comments would just be like, Lamau bro thinks he's tough. Yeah, something I've discovered, like looking into the past, is that nobody liked philosophers until they were dead. And sometimes they killed them. Like, I was talking shit about Socrates. Nobody liked Socrates while he was alive. Besides Plato, who's the only reason why we know of Socrates. Like, we don't know if he actually said anything that's attributed to him. Because Plato just made all that shit up. Like, what if he just fucking thought he was annoying and he was like using him as the nerd Wojak in his fucking memes. What was it? Which one's the one where he just uses Socrates as a puppet? Like, is it the symposium? Let's check this. The dialogues, yeah, that makes sense. Explore various philosophical themes through conversations between Socrates and other individuals. Mm-hmm. Like, it's stated that Socrates is the central figure, the protagonist. At least the AI overview is. But I might bet that, like, Plato was just wagging him around as a puppet so then he didn't look like a fucking nerd. Also, Descartes. Fucking loony. Like, that guy probably had some, like, schizoaffective. And he's completely responsible for so many of the issues that plague us today. Like, how many people thought that there was a separation between mind? Yo, no. No. Fucking cat. Nobody thought that there was like a separation between mind and body before Descartes. And he was like a tweaker. That was just how he saw the world. Like, all philosophers basically, like, there's like a fucked up way that they view the world, and then they just spend their entire lives trying to rationalize it to, like, as to why everybody else should think the way they do, so then they don't have to cope with the way that they see reality. I think Jung commented on something like that. But I vehemently despise Descartes with a passion. Descartes on my top 10 most hated philosophers list. I literally bought this book just because of the title. It's mirrored, but it says Descartes' Error. But it actually is like really fucking good for neuroscience. Like, I was gonna get some of Descartes' actual original work and slog through it, and I typed into the Amazon search bar Descartes, voice crack, Descartes, and it auto-filled to like Descartes' error, and I was like, hell yeah, it was. And I clicked it, saw the book, immediately bought it. It was like $11. So, yeah, fuck Descartes. And on there, of course, we got like Rousseau, Kant, Marx. Who else? Husserl, Socrates. Don't look at me like that. Fucking tweaker. Get out of there. No. Fuck out. These books are blocking off an access point that the cat could hypothetically get in through. So I'm going to put them back. There we go. Now I don't have to look at him. Man. The fuck are you doing? I would not allow him to get into my little spot. Oh, every single analytic philosopher there is. They're stupid. Anybody that deals with like the separation of like noumena and reality, like the separation of like the physical and the mental, like saying that like there's a thing in itself and the thing as we perceive it, like that separation's completely fucking stupid, redundant, useless. Like we can't get anything from that. Like to the extent that, at least from the extent that some people take it to. I hate it. I despise it. It's like so fucking retarded on so many levels that I don't know where to begin. I could probably write a book on it, and I very well might. I think I would just at least include it in what I'm currently writing. At least like the urge that we have to really delineate between things that more or less are on a continuum for whatever purpose that we're trying to justify. I think that's stupid. Like Descartes' whole notion that we can't really know the world because we're technically detached from it, like that is so stupid. Like even in medicine, even in science, for a long time, people like they don't even recognize the body and the brain as separate things anymore, because it is literally one thing. Like the holistic perspective is difficult to comprehend. It's easy to separate things and then manipulate them, but when you do that in isolation, you run into problems like treating symptoms. Like the real reason why cancer is such an issue is because we tried to treat the symptoms of it and not the cause. Like newsflash. I could tell you how to not get cancer. Like straight up. Do you want to know how not to get cancer? Do you? Don't eat so fucking much. Not kidding. Like stop eating every now and again. You won't get cancer. Unless you're exposed to ungodly amounts of radiation. I really need to go and collect the resources and make like a short video on this because it irritates me so much. Because I literally call cancer the gluttonous disease. Because every single thing that increases the risk for cancer comes from bad habits. Like it's like the disease of indulgence. No amount of predispositions given to somebody will like actually change the fact that it is habits and behaviors that will give you cancer. And more than that, like every single modern top killing disease or anything, like if you look at the most common causes of death, almost every single one is linked to indulgence on a like a sort of almost philosophical level. Heart disease, cancer, unintentional injuries. Heart disease and cancer. Wow. Okay. So if we ignore unintentional injuries, accidents, then we have heart disease, cancer, stroke, chronic lower respiratory disease, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, kidney disease, chronic liver disease, and cirrhosis. COVID-19. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give my opinion on that last one. The rest? Indulgence. Like, do you know how you get liver disease? Do you know how you get kidney disease? Do you know how you get diabetes? Do you know how you get Alzheimer's? Well, that one's still very much up for debate. It's ambiguous, but we can make a case for that. Stroke, cancer, heart disease. Yeah. You don't want chronic disease, just don't be such a fucking. It's hard to be mean to people when they're in the final stages of dealing with the consequences of their actions and they didn't know that until then and now they can't do anything about it. So I mean that's tough. That's rough. That sucks, buddy, but the only way that we're going to stop it going forward is if we acknowledge the fact. Like, just look into metabolic health, autophagy, and whatnot. I mean, I shouldn't be giving my opinion on this, but goddamn, my cat is freaking the fuck out. He's got the zoomies. That's what I should say that. He's not freaking out. But he's still causing chaos, though. But the point is that we have the cure for cancer. But the reality is that no, actually, technically, we don't. We don't have the cure for cancer. We have the cure for what causes cancer, and that's literally just being healthy. People make such a fucking big fuss over how difficult it is to be healthy nowadays. It's not. It's not. It is not difficult to be healthy. Healthy food is cheaper than unhealthy food. You just have to actually cook it. That's the problem. Like per capita, United States citizens spend less on money than the rest of the world because, like, I mean, compared to healthier countries, because people in those countries actually spend money on vast quantities of good food and then cook it up. Like, you can get like a 50-pound bag of rice for nothing. Right? That handles all your carbohydrates. Right? Cook everything in butter. Do it. It's good. It literally makes shit better. Cook everything in butter. Put butter on whatever the fuck you want. Eat meat, fatty meats. And fruits and vegetables, I guess. I mean, I'm still on the. I'm still thinking that it's going to come out that vegetables aren't actually as good for you as we thought. I'm serious. I might just collect the data and make a hit piece on fucking vegetables. I genuinely don't think they're good for you. To the extent that people hype it up to be. I think that if we prioritize vegetables, we're making ourselves worse off. I think vegans are fucking retarded. Like actually delusional. I mean, carbohydrates, they're not bad for you, but they're not good for you. I mean, they can easily be bad for you. But you don't get anything from them other than energy. They're an energy source. They're not a nutritional source. You need energy to function, but you can also get energy from other things, but carbohydrates are the easiest option to get energy from. So if you just do it right, like, know what this shit is that goes into your body, know what it does. Vegetables, vitamins and minerals, maybe, but like vitamins and minerals, really? That's why you think vegetables are the best food on the planet? I don't know. If we said we just want energy, we want as much energy as possible, then carbohydrates would be the best food on the planet. If we said we need to stay strong into our older years, we need to be able to function and move and keep our joints healthy, then meat would be the healthiest food on the planet. If we said that actually, in terms of energy, no, fats are actually so much better. Like they've got more energy per calorie. I don't know, slower burning, better for your metabolism. But you really got to be careful with the types of fats. Saturated fats. Eat saturated fats. None of those trans fatties, monounsaturated fats, polyunsaturated fats. Bullshit. If it comes from a plant, don't eat it. If it's oil from a plant, fat from a plant, fuck it. Get rid of it. Eat fats from fish. Eat fats from meat. Stop tweaking like this. Eat fats from meat. Eat fats from fish. You're solid. Saw an interesting heard of an interesting study about how the specific types of specific types of fat that's from fish is actually what allowed our, Jesus Christ, that cat, man. Fats from fish allowed our brains to develop to the point that they're at right now, and the lack of these specific types of fats in our diet may be actually causing a decrease in general intelligence. Brain damage. I don't know, guys. Look into it. I might just become a dietary Alex Jones. 'Cause this shit's so fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. But I mean, they will... The food that will be in the stores is the food that we want to buy. Right now, we really like being unhealthy. We really hate ourselves. We want to die young. But eventually, the evidence is just going to get so overwhelming that people are just like, they're not going to be able to handle the overwhelming reality of their choices and decide, you know what? It's just not worth it to have these tasty snacks. What the fuck is my cat on? It's 47 minutes. Babbling. Blah, 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 blah. Well, maybe I'll be able to sleep one of these days. Kind of running out of gas. All right. I'm currently in the stage of thinking where I'm off the cusp of being really productive and original thought and actual critical thinking and whatnot, and I'm running off the cusp of that into just babbling about things that I already know, because it'll make my brain think that I'm still in that super productive mindset, but the actual creative energy is like the discipline to stay on track is dwindling. So basically, I'm going to have to go and manufacture another existential crisis to get myself back on track. That's the way it goes. You know what I'm saying, guys? Yep. I mean, I know that my discipline is waning, because that's what I intended to do with this video, and I distracted myself the whole time by just talking about random bullshit. But yeah, we've got a lot of things that need course correction. My mind is kind of very overwhelmed with problems that I need to solve in both reality and in creative endeavors I am pursuing. So, I mean, this previous 50 minutes has just been a coping mechanism for that, but Yep. The honeymoon phase will come to an end, and yeah. I just had a thought like, can I manufacture an existential crisis to get my discipline back on track within the span of 4 hours? Is that possible? That is such an unhinged thought. Like, how can I get myself tweaking? Like, genuinely, like, fucking obsessed and delusional about what isn't that deep, so then I can just sort of go crazy with it. But seriously, I wonder what it would take to um get myself in that mindset. Like, it's not like technically in like an existential crisis type deal, but you know that whole process that you go through where you are, where you know there's something you need to be doing, you're not doing it, you're distracting yourself with other things, and every second that you have between those things, those distractions, you're like, oh fuck, should have been doing something else. You know that place? Yeah, well, we eventually reach a breaking point where we snap out of it and go do what we have to do, but that usually comes when we absolutely need to do it. But the problem is that a lot of the things that I've been pursuing, I don't actually need to do. Like, there's no monetary incentive. There's no real reason that I need to be doing the shit that I'm doing. That is in sight, at least. So I've been having to kind of hype up my delusion to keep myself on track. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, is breaking into that productive space out of a span of distraction. Because that time frame of distraction can easily go on for weeks, months, and we can convince ourselves that we're doing stuff, but in reality we're doing the bare minimum, not actually making any progress. So my idea is that I've been practicing strategies for forcing myself into that mode of thought when I'm distracted. Some with greater success than others, but I'm keeping track of it, and I know I'm in that spot right now, so that's what I mean when I'm thinking to myself, how can I manufacture an existential crisis in 4 hours? And you want to know the bulletproof strategy that will work every single time? Get a pen and a paper and mandate to yourself that you have to sit in front of it for 4 hours. With absolutely like no guidelines on exactly what you have to do, or there's no like word count that you have to hit. There's no expectations. You either have to sit in the room for 4 hours and sit in front of a blank piece of paper, or you start figuring shit out. And eventually, like, the most interesting thing to do would be to figure something out. And it doesn't actually take 4 hours. It could take 15 minutes. But if you allow yourself to get bored enough to get to that point, then you're in the clear. The 4 hours just gives you long enough to actually figure something out, because a lot of the time we'll spend that 15 minutes, we'll think about something, we'll get like 5% of the way to actually figuring shit out, and then we'll feel good about ourselves and quit. So, even though it might not take 4 hours, it just sort of ensures that you'll make some sort of progress on whatever you're thinking about in figuring out how you should be thinking about it, I should say. Getting yourself to do that is really fucking hard, though. So obviously, I'm looking for easier ways to do that. But I might just need to go do the 4-hour exits. I might just need to go do that 4-hour existential crisis therapy type deal, you know? The strat. That may be the plan. Alright. We're officially in the insomnia era. Let's get to it, guys. What the? I just spent 56 fucking minutes talking bullshit. No one's at this. No one will ever watch this part of the video. I could just sit here for another 4 minutes in silence and no one would know the difference. They wouldn't even know that there was 4 minutes of silence. Okay. Alright. Goodbye.